Yes.
So can you tell me about yourself?
Yes. So if we are talking about my professional experience, I have experience with the manual testing and automation. In automation, I do like a training with the Java. I have a good knowledge of the core Java, Selenium. I had worked on a different kind of frameworks like BDD framework, and then there is a PDD hybrid framework, data-driven testing, different kind of testing I have done. And I do have experience in functional testing, regression testing, and initial level of testing. If we are talking about like a sanity and flow testing, and then end-to-end testing. So I have a good knowledge of JIRA because in my I do have approximately around 4 years of experience. In these years, I have worked on a JIRA tool, and then I have a little bit, not like too much because I don't have a working experience in Jenkins, but I do have a little knowledge, in Jenkins.
Okay, yeah. So, can you tell me, I can see that in your resume, you have started working from 2006, I believe. So can you talk about this? I mean, the total experience and the testing experience?
Yes, if we are talking about my total experience, I'm working since 2006, but that's a non-IT. I'm working there as a project manager. So we do have some that is non-IT job, and if we are coming to my IT experience, I do started work on as a manual tester in 2017, and then I have learned training with the Java. So my second job I get as a manual and as automation tester. So that is as a project manager for non-IT.
Yeah, no problem. So what I can see that in your resume, you have not mentioned about what you have worked in 2017. It shows you have worked from 2006 to till date, and in between you have started working as an QA analyst in 2020 in May month, and then August 2020. So that's why I got confused somewhere. So I thought of looking at resume you have worked in a testing 3 months only. So that's why I asked you.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I don't know. I have I think put all my companies where I had worked and what year to what year. I believe that I have done so. If not, then I can add it my resume.
Okay. So no problem. So can you tell me how much do you rate yourself in manual testing and in the automation testing out of 5?
Yes, out of 5 in manual, I can say I can rate myself 4. Because we're still learning and we learn while we work. And even I think same thing in automation, I can rate myself number 4 out of 5.
Okay. So let's start with some manual questions and then we'll move to the automation thing. Okay. So what kind of models you have used in your company? Like it's Agile or waterfall model or something else?
Yes, I think I thought I'm lucky because I worked only on Agile, using there is a Scrum framework in Agile. So I have a more Agile experience,
And so if you have not worked in waterfall by any chance?
Yeah, but I do have a good knowledge of waterfall. I've never worked in a waterfall, but I have a knowledge.
So can you compare with Agile and waterfall, why we should go for the Agile and when we should go for the waterfall model?
Yes. So if you are talking about a waterfall, and the main I think thing is the documentation. Agile use a less documentation because there are like multiple sprints, and each sprint we have to release the application because we break down the application in multiple pieces. Whenever the sprint is, whenever there is a release, then in end of every sprint, then we have like a less time in like each sprint. Depends on the time, like maybe it's a week or sometimes it's a 2 week sprint. So then we don't have like much time to work on the documentation. So with time, if we have a time, we work on that documentation. If we're coming to like waterfall, we have to work more on documentation. We make like there is a BID, FSD. There are multiple like documents that we have to work on, and waterfall in Agile, testing and development both like very parallelly, right? But in the other hand, waterfall, like when there are some steps, like first thing is requirement gathering, then the design phase, then coding phase, and then there is a testing phase. Whenever it's a testing phase, the tester works only on testing. That don't go like parallelly. So whenever there is any bug in the, we found, so then everything started from the beginning.
Okay.
So I think, and I would like to go with the Agile because Agile is a more like, I think, in these days, like because we can get the feedback from the customer when they are getting their release, like their piece of software in every sprint, then we are getting the feedback, how they liked it. So, but on the other hand, Agile in waterfall, they are getting like their software. It's the project is for 1 year. They're getting their project after 1 year, and now you don't get the feedback like right way. So we get the feedback after we done with the software.
Yeah. So my next question to you is same. Like you have mentioned, like in Agile we maintain less documentation. So suppose anybody new is hired in your company, okay, and you guys have followed the Agile methodology, and you don't have more document to onboard a person, okay. So how do you manage? I mean, how your company is going to manage, or how you are going to, if you are going to join some new company and you don't have, a more number of documentation. So, how to deal with this situation then?
Yes, when we go to the company, like we are new in the company, so then we have to explore the application. So we do the exploratory testing where we are exploring the application, like understanding what is the application, like where we're going to work on. But on the other hand, there are some KT sessions, sometimes we get the KT session from the colleagues.
Yeah.
So, but mainly we do the exploratory testing. So where we explore the application and seeing if how the application works and behaves.
Yeah. So do you think it is something? It's kind of a disadvantage in Agile?
I think for like lesser documentation, I can say this is a little. We can say that this is a disadvantage because when there is new people coming, they don't have the requirement.
Yeah.
But so they need some like information. So they need to learn about the application, how the application is working, what they are going to work. So less documentation is disadvantage obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So you have mentioned like you are using the defect tracking tool, the JIRA and the HP, right? So like, can you tell me what is the bug life cycle exactly? Like how you are interacting with the bug, and then you follow the entire process to reporting developer and all things. The flow, I just want to know the flow. It is not correct definition, but just the flow.
Yes. Yeah, so when like there is a mismatch with the the actual and expected result, so then we found that this is a bug. So if the bug is reproducible and we are checking in a different kind of environment and the bug is there, so then we assign this as a bug. And like the status of the bug is new. So then developers, they check if this is they accept it. Okay, this is a bug. Then the application goes to the open state, and whenever it's a fix, so they new then open, then it's like a fix. So they close it, and then we do the retesting and the regression testing. Depending on the requirement. So if there is again mismatch, then the bug life cycle goes back to new state, and the cycle starts again.
Okay. So suppose you have reported one bug, okay, to the developers, okay, and the developers
Yes.
not able to reproduce it. So and he's telling you to I'm not able to reproduce it. So what is your approach to the developers, to showing the bug and all? And also
Yes.
there is one condition, you encountered the bug first time and you have reported to the developers, and developers not able to reproduce it, and you are also not able to reproduce it while showing to the developer, or while doing the reproducing the same bug in your environment.
Yes, so my approach, if I'm not able to reproducing it, so I would go with the same environment where I have where I have like a scene, like there was a mismatch, in the application. So I would go with the same environment, same browser where I have a check, So my approach when I got the bug, I always take a screenshot so I can show it to the developer, and
Okay.
go like 2-3 times if my application is showing the same bug, and there is a mismatch in the application between actual and the expected result, then definitely I think it's a bug. And then if my developer is saying this is not a bug, so then I will go with my requirement and see if we have the same requirement. So sometimes
No.
because they are like
Yeah. That I understand. I just want to know that, first time you saw the bug, and then when you took the screenshot and everything, and after that, just you have reported to the developers that bug, but developer is not able to reproduce it, and at the second time you are also not able to reproduce it. So then what you will do? That's my question.
if I'm not able to reproduce the bug, so then I think they will go to the closed state because there is no bug, and I think
Okay.
that will affect on my, whatever my effort I have done. That I think then there is one. I just forgot. There is one I'm sorry.
Yeah, but how you said your effort will be wasted, but do you keep watching this kind of bug that you have encountered first time, or you will just leave it for that time period?
No, I won't. Yeah, I won't leave it because I'm a tester and I have to find the bug. If I'm not able to reproduce the bug, and same thing like the developer said, there is no bug and you cannot reproduce it, I will go with the same environment. I will go with I will try my best to check back again and again 2-3 times. I will see if the bug is not reproducible, then I will say okay, there was maybe it's a mistake, but that will definitely affect on my, after what I have done, like my performance,
Yeah. Okay.
So then, yeah.
Okay, got it. No problem. Yes. So you have mentioned in your resume load runner, right?
Yes.
So can you talk about it? What exactly that load runners, so that I can understand?
Yes. So load runner is a tool where we can do the performance testing, by putting the load gradually on the application. So we will see what is the response time and of the application, when we are putting the load, depending on the requirement.
So you have mentioned Vuegen script. So are you writing that, or it is what kind of thing it is?
I'm sorry, can you say again? Vuegen?
Yeah. So you have mentioned here you have a knowledge in load runner, Vuegen script. So are you writing the Vuegen script also for doing the performance testing?
Yes, I do. Where we have to record the script and then playing back again and then checking like the response and the behavior of the application.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let's move to the some Java questions. So in core Java, can you tell me about some ops pillars? Do you know? Like just give me one example. Suppose you know any ops pillars, then you have to just say the name and you have to just give some real time example of it.
I'm sorry, can you repeat? I didn't get it.
Okay, so do you know ops pillar, ops concept?
Oops concept, yeah,
Yeah.
I do. So you want me to tell you about how I use those oops concept in my real life, like a real time thing?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So oops concepts are like there are abstract, inheritance, and interface or polymorphism. So we use like all those in our real time. Like if we're talking about the abstract method, abstract when we want to hide the body.
Okay.
Like we have the method, but we don't have the body because we don't want to show the internal function, right? So then we write the abstract method. So like when we want to do the partial abstraction, I go with the abstract. Sorry, I'm getting the problem. Sorry. So then we go with the partial abstraction. So interfaces are something like which I use in IT listener classes. When I want to check like if my test is failed or my test is pass on test failure on test pass on test success. So then I use the interfaces where I use the 100% abstraction. So third thing is inheritance. So inheritance I use like whenever I do have the base class where I have my before method, after method, before test, after test class, and my browser closer. So then I use my base class in all of my test classes. So this is called inheritance. And then there is encapsulation when I'm hiding when I'm binding my data with like I'm creating my variables and the method as it's private.
Okay.
Right. So, but I'm using the getters and setters. I cannot use those outside my class and because those are private. But using the getters and setters, I can use those. So hiding my data, right?
Yeah.
My data with the data type. Yeah. So
Correct.
then I think inheritance interface I have done. Polymorphism where I'm overriding my methods. So I write my test, So whenever my own test failure or own test success, I write some my code inside those. If my test is failed in my test classes, so then that will override in my IT lecture classes,
So like in polymorphism, we have two concepts like which we basically use in our
overloading and
yes.
That's overloading.
Yeah. So whenever
So
you are
I cannot recall about like overloading, but when I have used in my real life. But I know the concept of a method overloading in polymorphism. That is a static binding. So
okay.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, no problem. So one thing just I want to just let you know. Suppose while answering any questions, if you think like you are not able to confidence enough or not able to recall anything, then that time what you have to do is you just have to hide that thing. Okay, you just don't have to you said like I'm not able to recall, but I know the concept. So you don't have to just mention this thing. Whatever things just go with the flow and rest leave it aside. Okay, no need to show that you are not able to recall and all, because that is the weak point only. I mean, the interviewers are looking for the candidates, right?
Okay.
So you should not
Yeah.
show this thing. So no problem. So in polymorphism also you can talk about more on the side, like overloading and the overriding thing. Okay, because that makes
Yes.
more sense. As you mentioned, everything is fine, but just stick to the answer what we are expecting. Like I mean the interviewer are
Yes.
expecting, right?
Yes.
So
So you have anything like to say about overloading? How we use that in our own?
yes, yes. So overloading, what we can do is suppose what I have used in my framework, like in the API testing, suppose I have one method and I have to, I have to overloading concept, right? You have a same method and everything, just
Yes.
the parameter is
Yes.
different, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
suppose I have two methods with the same name, but the parameters are different. Suppose method A, and which contains the two parameter username and password. So when I request for that method, it will return me the token. Okay. And I have the
Okay.
same method A, and which contain only the one parameters. So the token which I have received just now, I will pass it on to the second method, which contains the token only. So that time what it will happen, we are doing the method overloading, right? Having the same
Yes.
method but two different parameters. So I can use it in that token for the different purpose and for running or executing my application. You got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that
it.
that
Thank you.
yeah, that where we can use the method overloading things. Okay. Uh,
Yes.
so as you mentioned, like uh, you have mentioned like the abstract class, right? So can you tell me,
Yes.
can we create the object of it like abstract class?
Object class. No, we cannot create the object of
Why is it?
because we cannot instantiate the object class. We can just implement the object class
Sorry.
in the base class. We cannot create the object of a abstract class.
So if I have to, use that particular class method, then how can I use it?
You can use that by using the implement method, implement keyword.
No. So I'm talking about abstract
That,
class. Suppose I have one abstract class.
that's interface. Yeah. Abstract, no, yes, we can create the object of the abstract class, but we cannot create the object of interface. Interface only implemented.
No, no. So
We can create the object.
you have messed up. I mean, you have confused here. First, you have answered right. Like we cannot create the object of the abstract class, right? But
Yeah.
suppose I ask you like how then we can access the method of the abstract class. Then what is the real answer of this is we have to use the inheritance concept. We have to create another class and then we have to extend that abstract class, and then we can use that method of the
Inheritance. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, so
Okay, I got
that's
it.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, and the interface we cannot create the object of the interface. Yeah.
Yes.
So can you tell me uh, like why the string is immutable? I mean, what is the purpose of immutable, to make a string is immutable?
Yeah, strings are immutable because the value is constant. We cannot change the value of a string, and uh, yeah.
No, I
But
am asking you like why string is make it as a like immutable. Do you have any answers for this?
can you tell me about this one?
Yeah. So should I answer you?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So why the string is immutable in this Java? Like because sometimes what happens, you have to store the particular things in your memory, right? So for storing purpose, this string class make it as the constant in the JVM. Okay, whatever the values we store, that goes to the JVM, like heap memory area, right? So
Yes.
the purpose is basically, suppose we want to connect to the database, right? So we create the connection object and everything. So that time we need a constant value that needs to be, pass it to that database connection purpose, and that time we should, you make a utilization of this string to be make it as a immutable. And we
Yes.
have this alternative for these things, like we can use string buffer and string builder. So that's the reason, like it is make it as immutable. I mean, a few places a string should be use it as a constant. So that's why this string is make it as a immutable.
Yes.
Okay. uh okay, just give me a minute. uh so do you have used the collection, like I mean, do you know the collections,
Yes, I do.
or what are the collections you have used? I mean, just general, and why you have used that. I mean, what is the
Yes.
reason behind choosing that particular collection?
Yes, because I have used like a list interface in my some of my like tests, and
Okay.
the reason behind it because strings don't take the primitive data type, right? So we use the repro classes. Then we need to work on multiple objects together. Then we use these, like a collection. So in collection framework, we can use like a heterogeneous and homogeneous data. But if you're
Okay.
using like another primitive data type, we can use only one kind of data type. So in list interface, a string like a collection works as a like depends on like a suppose it's a map interface, key and value pairs works. So depending on our requirement, what we are working on, so we can use a collection, mainly
Yeah.
because that works on a multiple objects instead of like working only on a single value.
Yes. Yes. Right. So can you tell me the difference between list and the map?
Yes, so list is a the child interface of a collections interface, where a map is also part of a collection interface, but this is not a child interface of a collection interface. So
Yeah.
list works as homogeneous and heterogeneous data we can work on we can use in a list, but map we use like key and value pairs. Like in list we can use that add method, and we can add our values, whatever we want to use, and these are extendables, and also maintain the insertion orders. But map interface don't maintain any insertion orders.
Okay.
So this is the difference between map and list.
Okay. Uh, okay. So let's talk about some Selenium question as well. Can you tell
Mm.
me what is the implicit weight and explicit weight? Like why
Yes,
we use this weight?
implicitly. Yes. So implicitly weight is something like when we are, running our script, the browser is trying to find the element right away when we open the, like URL. So to avoid that, because if we don't give this a weight to all our elements, then there will truly no such element exception. So to avoid this kind of exceptions, we put like implicitly weight, where we are giving the time and the time in unit, like if it's 30 seconds and the time in if it's in second. So then it will apply on all the web elements which we are using in that particular in our script. But on the other hand, explicitly weight is works for something only for one like a web element, So suppose sometime like some element throws like a tail element exception, or sometime the loading of the element takes a longer time, and we want that specific element to wait for some certain time. So then we provide the one class for explicitly it, where we are giving our weight and with the condition, so we want our element to be visible or element to be clickable, so that is the difference, like implicitly and explicitly.
Yeah, so consider a scenario. Suppose you have to open the browser and you have to just click on the one of the link that will, redirect you to the another page. Okay, and then you have to go back to the same page. Then how you gonna do this thing? Like what you will use?
Yes, if there are two different kind of pages on the browser, so we will go with the driver that switch to that window. We are switching to the window.
No.
We want to go to the same window.
No. So I'm asking you, like I have just opened the browser and I have just click on the one of the link that will not open another tab. We can say that it will just open the new page, and then once the page is open, then I have to move back to the same page where I have clicked on the link.
Okay, so I think then we can go with the driver window that default content. We can go back to the page default window maybe.
No. I'm asking about just a simple thing. Let me rephrase the question once again. Suppose you are on the one of the login page functionality, okay? Not login page, we can say that, but one of the page where you have one link, okay? So you have opened the browser, you have just click on that particular URL, okay? On that particular page, then the page will, redirect to the same tab into the new, we can say that, like what we can say that, new page.
Window. Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, on the same page, and then you have to go back to the like we can say that on the back page where you have clicked on the link. Do you heard the driver.navigate.back?
Yes, yeah. Driver.navigate that. Yeah.
Yes. That is what I'm asking. Like, suppose you have moved to some other page and then you have to move back to the, the same page. Then how you can do the same thing?
So driver.navigate to that back.
Yes. If you do this, you will go back to the same page where you have, just clicked on it. Okay. So suppose you have one text field, username, and you just have to enter your name in that text field, and you don't have to use the send key methods. Okay. So how are you gonna do that? Like,
if we not want to send the send key method, then we can go with the JavaScript executor, where we can.
Can you tell me the syntax of it?
Yes, the syntax. Just learn me, because I always use the send keys. So I know I have done like a couple of times, but I cannot recall right now.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. So it's a simple only. Like you just have to pass the reference of the JavaScript executor and cast with your driver, and then whatever the object that you have dot execute script, then you will mention in that you will pass that thing. No issue. You can refer later on.
Yes.
Can you talk about like how have you used like soft assert in your script?
Yes, I do. So for soft assert, we have to. Yes, for soft assert, we have to create the object for the soft assert, and while using that soft assert, we can go like whatever we want to actually want to perform, we can use that. So what soft asserts are for if we are using soft result, we our next method will be for a first some failed, our comparison is failed. So then it will skip to the next test. It will our whole script will not be failed. And unlikely, to how we work with the harder effort.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me about something like how do you manage the alert pop-up?
Alert pop-up, we have to create there is one class called alert. We have to create the object for that. Like a reference variable is alert equal to new alert, and then we can use using that object data switch to alert. And if you want to accept that alert, we will use the accept method, or if you want to cancel the pop-up, then we can go with that basis method.
Yeah, right. So have you used Maven?
Yes, I do.
Why we are using the Maven in your project?
Yes, Maven is Maven is a framework which creates our, I think testing more efficient and more easy. In Maven we can, there is a point on XML file where we can add multiple dependencies like test NG, WebDriver Manager, or multiple kind of dependencies we can add, right? So in Maven we can add the whole project is only in a Maven project where we are creating different kind of package like our save class package, then there are test class package and utility package, and then if there are some property files or XML files, we can use those files in their place. So this is maintain the usability of the code, and we can want to reuse. I mean, this is maintenance of the our whole project. We create it more easy.
Yeah, right. So have you used Git also?
Yes, I do.
Suppose you have cloned the entire project from the remote repository, and you have made the changes to 3 files. Okay. And then what you want, you just want to add these 3 files to your remote repository once again with your updated values or the script. So what is the process? Can you tell me?
Yeah, we can go with the right click of the project. Then there is one, I believe, team, I think, I don't remember.
So do you not use the... No, I'm asking about the Git bash. Like you are using UI based or the command line based?
Actually, yeah, I have done on command line too. I know it's pretty easy, but right now I cannot. I don't remember how I have done, but I have done with the Git bash too.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the use of git pull command?
Which one?
Git pull.
Git pull. Yeah, git pull means we are creating the pull request. Like whatever the code we are, committing, and we can create the pull request whenever we want to share our code with the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have mentioned also the you have a knowledge on BDD and Cucumbers, right?
Yes.
So can you tell me why we use this Cucumbers? Like what is the need of it? Like we have already this Selenium and everything. Then why is the need of Cucumbers?
Yes, so this is a Cucumber is we are working as behavior driven development, when we are using that. So I think when the Cucumber is when there are features which is a very easy language, we can understand, even a non-programmer can understand the language. right? There is a given, then, and keywords. And this is more like, collaborating with the whole team. Like as I told you, the known programmer like product manager and another, like a team member, they can write the feature files and it's easy to understand because this is a simple English.
Okay. Uh, so like suppose you are working in one of the product based company where you don't have to report to the client, right? Because
Yes.
that particular project is used in a product based company, and that product is used for internal purpose only.
Yes.
Do you prefer developing the script in Cucumber, or you just go with the basic one? Like how you'll decide like in this project I have to use the Cucumber and I don't have to use this?
Product-based company. So I think in most of the product-based companies using the Agile methodology where all the team is collaborating. So that's what I think I can fully understand.
Okay. So have you designed any framework from the scratch in web or anything?
Yes, I do create the framework, by myself in my demo project, but in real time I don't.
Okay.
Like I have created renewable projects on my Eclipse.
So my question is like if you have knowledge creating the framework from the scratch, what is your first thought when suppose you are assigned to some new project and they have asked you to create the framework from the scratch. So what are the different things you have consider to make the framework like from the scratch?
Yeah, so I think if I understand, like you want me to explain how I'm like creating a project from scratch, like.
No, I'm just understanding you. I mean the what is your thinking and what all points you will consider before beginning the creating the framework.
I don't understand this thing, like how I have to answer.
No, no.
But I know, like.
So suppose you have a web application and you have to just someone asks you to create the framework for that. So you will choose like creating the framework from this using the Selenium, Java as a language, or maybe the Python or the C Sharp, or you may go with the Cucumber BDD framework style. So that's what I'm asking is like what is your approach like how you'll decide that like I have to stick with the Java language or the C Sharp or something else, or I can use to create the TestNG framework or the BDD framework like that.
Yes, yeah. So this thing, what? Because I do have only knowledge in Java,
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge in C Sharp and anything. So what I feel like whatever the requirement coming from the upper management or from the product manager, so we are working according to that.
Okay.
So that's what I feel. So in my project, I did not use a test and I think I use like a unit.
Okay. 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 So no problem. That's all like I have prepared for you. So like I can ask you in this session. Do you have any questions for me? Like anything you want to clear this thing?
Yes. Yeah, I just want to ask you like where my weaknesses are because I do have one interview coming up and I just want to know if you can tell me where I have to improve more.
Okay.
If I can work on that.
Okay. So two things are pretty much clear from my understanding what you have answered. Like one is your manual testing is very good, I believe. Whatever the question I have asked you, you have answered very clearly. and also some general questions like that I have asked, like if you are not able to reproduce the bug and all. That question also you have answered clearly, like what you are thinking and your the way of answering that question. But one thing on the technical side, I just want to highlight that things like you know the things, right? But the only thing is you are not able to recall at the time of someone asking you the question.
Okay.
That is the one thing I believe you should improve, because sometimes we miss this kind of opportunities where we know the questions like what they are going to be asked in the interview, but we are not able to recall it, not able to represent it properly. So it is our loss only, because we don't get a certain opportunities. So we should
Yes.
yeah, we should manage this thing so that it cannot be the negative part in the interview.
Yes. Okay. I
So
got it. Thank you very
yeah,
much. Yes.
so that is the one thing, and I believe like you have a good understanding of all these things, but just make sure to recall it, and just also make sure one thing, you might be heard this thing in all other in mock interview. I have said many of the people, like while explaining the thing, you just have to stick to the answer what the interviewer is asked for. Okay,
Okay.
you just don't have to
Yes.
start explaining everything, because no one wants to listen to you more, I mean on one topic, right? If I ask you what is your
Yes.
name, you should just explain your name, not explain your name, just tell your name, not to explain like why it is my name is like this and this that. So you are understanding, right, what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
So this two things, just just stick to the answer whatever they ask you. Just say less, not less, we can say that, but not more also, so that the interviewer just listening to your answers. So that is the one thing, and another thing is just recollect it. I mean, while studying, just go through everything in like that way, so that it can be, at the time of answering the question, you should explain the interviewer with the some example also, so that you should not forget this thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you very
So
much, Shiv. Yeah.
yeah, that's the only thing, and I wish you all the best, so that you can
Thank you.
get the good opportunity in future.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Shiv. You have a
Yeah.
great day.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night.
Yes. Bye.